can't believe you bought all those Peeps. That's hilarious.
I've been thinking about going back and getting more. If we weren't doing this tonight, I was going to go back and get more. I don't care. I bought 21 boxes of Peeps, and by God, I'm eating 21 boxes. I'm 48 years old. I've been eating Peeps my whole life.
My friend came up to me and he said this. He said, "Hey, you know what I like? Mashed potatoes." It's like, dude, you got to give me time to guess.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. 4 out of 5 doctors listen to this podcast. Please welcome your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hi, I'm Darin.
I'm Fitzgerald.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This is episode 202.
Yes, this is Cincinnati's comedy podcast. Mm-hmm. If you're not laughing, you're not doing it right.
That's right.
Yeah, it's not our fault.
No.
It's certainly not my fault.
No, absolutely not.
So we got a lot of things to talk about.
What's that,
today?
Fitzgerald?
Today/tonight.
Right.
/ on your drive, wherever you're going. If you're on the toilet, that's weird that you're listening to us on the toilet, but you do you.
Yeah.
Within reason. I want to talk about the fact...
I certainly would if I could.
So we just bought a new car, and I want to talk about the fact that Kia helped sell me on some Toyota services that I was dead set against.
Yeah.
And I also want to talk about my record store day experience. Record store day, 4/20/24.
Nice. I'm going to tell a story. My mom, I'm pretty sure, has been banned from TJ Maxx.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the entire chain or just the one store.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They have like her picture up like on the wall.
Probably so.
Yeah. Do not let this woman.
It would not surprise me at all. How you doing?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'm a little verklempt today.
Yeah, what's going on?
I've been dehydrated all day, and I don't know why.
Yeah, have you been drinking fluids?
I have been.
I've
been down in water like crazy.
Yeah?
I ate popcorn last night with a lot of salt.
Well, that adds to the dehydration.
Yeah.
Yeah?
No. So I'm a little off. My synapses aren't firing correctly.
Okay.
The connections in my brain aren't well electrolyted with the penultimate flow of my synergies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
You know, you mentioned penultimate. Reminds me of something that's on our rundown tonight. There are 2 new words in the English language, apparently. And those 2 new words are plusier and rewardier.
Nope.
Okay, so I was at the UDF up here in Ohio. They've got the UDF, which is United Dairy Farmers. That is a chain of convenience stores. They're gas stations
that have ice cream.
And they've got pretty good ice cream too.
They do.
So if you have a UDF card, you can get like 3 cents off a gallon at your UDF. Okay, so it's the UDF Plus card. Creative.
Yeah.
Now, the UDF Plus card has gotten plusier. I don't know what that means, but I was intrigued, and I'm going to go and find out what that means. Does that mean that I now get 4 cents off a gallon because my card is now plusier? I don't know.
So the millennials, are they in the marketing now?
Maybe
it's not them anymore.
Maybe.
I don't think we can blame them anymore.
But now you seem upset about this, but we're the ones who say penultimate when that's not, that word doesn't mean what we think it means.
Yeah.
Yay. Yay. There's another word for you. And then we went to Old Navy. Have you ever been to Old Navy?
I've been to Old Navy.
Okay.
Yeah. I like Old Navy. All of my jeans are from Old Navy.
Okay. So you go into Old Navy and you can get Old Navy rewards.
Yeah. And
Old Navy's rewards are now rewardier. So our Irritable Dad Syndrome is now penultimate-ier than it was than it's ever been before.
See, the English student in me says no, it's more penultimate.
More penultimate-ish.
The most penultimate.
More penultimate-y.
Penultimatist.
That
sounds like somebody that does something improper to penultimates. Penultimatist.
Maybe. Yeah. But anyway, so
I was caught in an uncompromising position with a penultimate. I'm a penultimatist.
Right.
Yeah.
It was plusier. It was rewardier.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know who else is going to do that, to add an ear to words that don't normally have that, but I kind of encourage it. I'm excited about it. I want to see what else happens.
Yeah.
You're listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast.
That is without question the funniest story I've ever heard.
I was thinking about what we could talk about on Cincinnati's comedy podcast.
Yes.
That would really get people rolling.
And what's that, Mike?
I'd like to talk about
Fitzgerald.
I'd like to talk about extended car warranties.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to talk about how Kia helped sell me Toyota's extended warranty.
How did they do that, and why would they do that?
So I walked into Toyota like every good God-fearing Christian American.
Yeah.
I ain't getting your extended warranty. They have engineers at Toyota. They have people that work very hard to make the car as good as they can make it.
Right.
Additionally, we are trading in a van. Now, yes, the van was being held together by bird nests and bubble gum, but it lasted almost 15 years.
That's a long time.
It probably could have lasted another year before it caught fire on the side of the highway.
Right.
But I don't want to push it too far.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going in there. We ain't getting that. We don't need it.
Right.
For the whole run of this car.
Nope. No.
Then we get in and we actually see, the car. And I look up under the hood. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to look under the hood of the car.
Yeah.
And take a look at the engine.
And then as you do that, you go,
Yeah.
Yeah. Act like you know what you're looking at.
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I lifted the hood, and with Charles next to me, Charlie, I said, I don't know. That's where the windshield wiper fluid goes. And he said, how do you know? And I said, because it has the squirty thing on it.
Right. It's got the wipers on it.
And he said,
and it's usually blue.
And he said, what's that? And I said, I'm pretty sure that's an engine. Because at this point, I wasn't sure if that was the only engine in the car.
On the Toyota, or the engines in the front?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was all, I didn't understand any of it. What I did understand was there was a lot of stuff there that I don't understand, even more so than what it was like 15 years ago. And I thought, oh my.
Now less understandier than ever before.
Ooh. So they leave us for a few minutes alone with the car while they go get the financier set up. And then they beckon us into
you were beckoned.
Into the alcove. Now, I was in this exact same office space because we bought the van at the same Toyota dealership at King's. And I walk in, I'm pretty sure it was the same office, a different guy. So I got into an argument with the guy when we bought the van because he wanted me to get the extended warranty. And he said that the doors, we talked about this in the last episode, the doors would quit
3 years
working.
and your doors are going to stop working.
Yeah. And things got a little heated in there. They got a little tense. The temperature rose.
It got tensier.
Yeah. Now, let's rewind a bit. I buy this Kia. Okay. Randomly, electronic things will die. The air conditioner just quits working. The fan that blows the air, the air conditioner, sometimes the little computer in there it'll turn the air conditioner on, but it won't turn the fan on. Or it'll turn the fan on low when you have it set on high and flip it the other direction.
Yeah.
Sometimes the screen will just go blank. Sometimes it'll come on. Sometimes when you're backing up, the backup camera doesn't work until you're going forward.
All of these are issues.
It's really fun on a daily basis trying to guess which thing is not going to work. I've had the car for 3 years.
Okay.
I've had the same phone connected to it for 3 years. Every time I get into the car, it says, whoa, 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 whoa. Where's your phone?
Slow down, Charlie.
And I have to connect the phone to it. About every third time I connect the phone to it, it has to download all my contacts.
Okay.
It's been downloading all my contacts for years. I don't know that many people. You, my mom,
Fanch,
Bess, and Fanch. Box. Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah.
And it does this every single time.
We don't want Dan to feel left out.
Sometimes the speakers quit working. Sometimes they work. Sometimes when I turn on the key, the speakers are to the maximum volume on a radio station. And the neighbors get to hear me at 6 in the morning, blaring 103.9.
Okay.
103.9?
103.5.
Okay. Edit.
Yeah.
103.5. And then me cussing.
Dirty Perky Shark, back flat and Porton, Philip Bucket Barton, Perkaluma Burton, Durton, Boston, Martin, and Idaho.
That's what some of our neighbors wake up to. Okay.
Lucky neighbors.
Yeah. Just random. It's random. It's the randomness that pisses you off. And so I'm thinking.
Like Kia roulette.
So he's talking while he's going through this thing, and he just goes through, and I'm like, I'm getting the sales pitch for the extended warranty now. How long do you think you're going to drive your car? You think you might drive it 10 years? Yeah, we'll probably drive it 10 years. Okay. And it gives me this graph, and I'm like, here we go. He's a nice guy.
Graphs.
I'm going to listen to the sales pitch and everything. And he said something key in the middle of it. He said, the screen, if the screen goes out, you're looking at $2,000 or $3,000 just to replace the screen. And I remember my first thought, my Gen X person on this shoulder, the Gen X guy, says that's nobody's paying $3,000 for a screen. But then Kia guy popped up and said, can you control the car if you don't have the screen? Can you do anything? Because everything is on there and it's part of the dashboard. It's not like you pop it out and pop it in.
And that's 3+
in there. Yeah. And we talked to some other people later who told us that they've had to replace theirs. It was like $3,500. Yeah. And the plan to include that with like this whole smorgasbord of things was like $50.
Right.
We elected. I was looking at it and I said, hold on. And I said this to the guy. I said, I currently drive a Kia. And he said, I'm sorry. He interrupted me and he said, I used to work at a Kia dealership. I know what you're dealing with. He said, how many miles do you have on it? And I said, 150,000. And he said, and it's still running. And I said, yeah. And he said, most things go out at 100,000. And I said, yeah. He said, have you hit the point where you have to keep adding oil to it like every 2,000 or 3,000 miles? I'm like, no, I haven't hit there. He's like, it's coming. I said, okay.
Oh, you're scaring me because Libby has the Kia Sorento.
The Sorento.
Yeah.
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 And I said, okay. He said, he just smiled at me and I said, because of that car, I'm going to get the warranty. And he's like, this is better than your car. To me, like, he's like, this car is better than your car. It'll last longer. And I said, yeah, but I'm not paying $3,000 for that screen. I'm not doing that.
Right.
And the whole price of this, when you spread it out, ends up being about $3,000. Remember, we looked under the hood, me and Charlie.
Right.
And it was like when Vincent Vega opened the case in
the gold
Pulp Fiction and the gold.
Yep.
Like, I don't know what any of this is. If Joe Schmo down at the Toyota thing says, that right there is your catalytic penultimate, and it's about $5,000, I'd be like, okay, I guess we're going to sell one of the kids. I don't know what we need to do. Yeah. And so I just did that so we don't have to worry about it. So Toyota, call someone at Kia and thank them for making a Sorento and selling it to me to cause me to get the extended warranty on this thing.
Nice.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I feel bad. I know that I posted on the Facebooks about my experiences with Kia, and I got a lot of people very upset with me. I just bought a Kia.
If they have a problem, they can get a podcast and they can tell their own stories.
I just bought a Kia last week and it's wonderful. I bought a Kia 2 months ago and it delivered our baby. Yeah, all these things about how wonderful. I got a Kia and the glove compartment was full of peeps.
Exactly. I had my kidney stolen at a B&B and my Kia gave me one of his kidneys.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure they're wonderful cars. They have a 100,000 mile warranty out of the box. Like when you get them new. I'm sure they're great. When we bought mine, it was disturbingly cheap, which is what we needed at the time because we were poor and we needed a car right now. And we got one. It had a weird smell. I think I've talked to you about it before. For about a year, I was convinced someone had been murdered in my Kia. And they had left the body in there in the sun for a few months. It was an awful smell. That's gone.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Little
but
Feebreeze.
Here's where the car is in my thing. When I go, me and Andrew go work out and we get all sweaty and nasty, I would just sit in the car. I don't care. Charlie spilt a Frosty in the back. Most of the Frosty is still on the seat. I don't give a. I don't care. I don't care about that car.
Whatever.
It just needs to live long enough to get me back and forth to work for another 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And then it's going away. And when I go to trade it in, they're going to laugh at me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to laugh right along with them.
Yeah.
I know.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Mr. Bubble, the bath time soap that makes getting clean as much fun as getting dirty.
That's right.
Now back to the show.
Speaking of cars and smells, I've got a little, it's one of Darin's tips for all of you who are listening to the show. And it's a simple tip, and I want you to write this down. if you go to a Chinese restaurant, any Chinese restaurant,
in China buffet,
any
China house,
any Chinese
Chinatown,
Panda Express, it don't matter.
China line,
Kung Fu Rice Emporium,
China penultimate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who's big ass China dinner and stuff?
Bangkok.
Yeah. Exactly. That's a Vietnamese restaurant, Mike.
That's right.
Yeah. If you go to any Chinese, and I'm going to expand it, or a Japanese restaurant.
Oh.
Okay. If you go to any of those restaurants, and let's say that you eat half of it and you're like, oh my God, I'm so full because of all the rice.
Yes.
You're like, I'm going to take this home and eat it later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you
Many people do that.
If you get leftovers, and let's say there's 3 or 4 people in your car. Okay. And you drive a hatchback.
This is becoming a very specific example.
If you take those leftovers and put them in the back of the car, and let's say you leave them in the car for 8-9 days, it's gonna smell.
Yeah, it smells like my Kia.
It's really gonna smell hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we went to lunch with my mom after church. This was 2 weeks ago. And afterwards, we went to a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
And I had the pork lo mein, which is the bomb. That's pork with the noodles.
With the main on
I
set
prefer
on
the noodles over rice. Don't hate me. Don't send me emails. I don't care if you like rice better than you like the noodles. I don't care.
I'm a rice guy.
Yeah.
I'm a rice guy, but I
like rice too.
Every once in a while, I see someone with noodles, and I think, man, I wish I had some noodles.
If I had the choice, I'm going to pick noodles.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm trying to do better. I'm really trying to do better and not eat just a massive amount of food in one sitting. I ate about half my stuff. I'm like, I'm going to be good.
Okay.
I'm going to take the rest home.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
And since I work from home, and then the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday after that, I didn't pick the kids up because one of the moms in the pickup group picked up Cameron and brought him home. Okay. So like Thursday, Libby and I rode somewhere together, and she said, do you smell something in the car? And I'm like, maybe. And then we didn't really think anything about it. And I was like, okay. So that was Thursday. Friday, I drove and picked Cameron up, and I'm thinking, there is something smelling in the car. Saturday happened. Sunday happened. We took Mom's van to church. Monday. We're talking now. It's now 9 days, and I'm driving to your house to do this thing. Yeah, and I'm like, my God, something smells in this car. Yeah. It had been in my car for 9 days. Yeah. Well, I didn't eat it. I threw it away.
The reason I'm laughing is I watch a lot of these and listen to a lot of these true crime the podcasts on the YouTube and all that stuff. Part of me cracks up a little bit when they talk about, I smelled something odd and went and looked in the trash and there was my grandmother. I'm like, I don't know how long a body would need to be out there before I finally looked.
Caught on. Well, and we had just watched Grumpy Old Men where what's-his-face threw the fish in the back of Walter Matthau's car. And it was like 3 days before he noticed it in there. So, yeah. Just if you bring leftovers home, remember that they're in the car and get them out of the car. Yeah. Little tip from Uncle Darin.
So record store day.
Yeah.
Let's talk about record store day.
Yeah. I love record store day.
So here's the deal.
I always love going to record store day.
Bess does a lot of odd things. Okay.
Like marrying you.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's in the buy nothing cult. We've talked about that, where random people come and take stuff from a box next to your step and they leave things. And she's in this other thing. They do have you ever heard of a crop? What's that called? A scrapbooking crop?
No, I haven't heard it called a crop, but I've heard of scrapbooking cults.
Well, she invited Libby too.
Yes, she did. Yeah.
So from 9 a.m. on a Saturday until 9 p.m.
Jesus.
That's 12 hours, Darin.
That is. That's almost half the day.
They take all their scrapbooking things, all their pictures, the little flowers, the little lettering, the scissors.
There's stencil.
The knives.
There's stamps.
All that tapes and the glue and the stuff.
They have a glue gun.
And they all go to, in this case, an old lady's home, an old folks home.
Some people use sparkly glitter.
It was like a spare room in the old folks' home. And Beth said every once in a while one of them would roll in and be, what are you doing there? And they would talk to him. And I'm like, okay, you were really living it up.
Don't party too hard.
Yeah. And she said, well, Charlie has a sleepover on Friday night.
Okay.
And I'll need you to pick him up around 10 o'clock. And I said, it's record store day tomorrow.
Right.
And she said, well, you can go after like 11 o'clock. I was like, I can't go at 11 o'clock.
Everything will be gone.
It'll all be gone. There's a U2 release. And she said, there's a U2 release every record store day. And I said, yes.
Yes.
And I haven't missed one yet.
And your point.
Yeah. We went to Morgantown one year. Record store day is always on Black Friday, and then they do one in April or May. They're opposite each other in the year. They started that with COVID. And when COVID hit, they split the record store days up. They're like, we'll do half the records on this date. We'll do half the records on that date. We'll split the crowds up. It'll be half each. And then what they ended up doing was having 2 full-ass record store days on each date.
Yeah.
So I was like, well.
Never half-ass 2 things. Whole-ass 1 thing.
I have to go get my stuff.
There were 2 full-ass days.
2 full-ass days.
Okay.
You went to the record store day. Everybody's with me. We were there for hours.
Yeah.
Like waiting in line and all this. And I'm like, I'm going to get there. I can't get there at like 8 o'clock. And I won't be able to pick up my kid. And I'm not going to miss record store day.
Right. You got to have important things in your life.
There's a record store near us called Plaid Room Records.
Right.
Which is where I eventually ended up going. They start taking numbers for the line at 4 a.m.
What?
4?
I didn't think that you would want to get up at 4 a.m. I set my alarm.
You thought correctly.
I set my alarm for 4 a.m. She set her alarm for 8 a.m. for her crop thing.
Cool.
And
scrapbooking.
I woke up to go potty at 3:50 a.m. I looked at the fact that I had an alarm and I said, I'm not doing that. I'm going to sleep in. I slept in until about 8 or 9. And then I got up and I'm like, I'm just going to go there. I found a record store near us in Fairfield.
Right.
It's like, I'll go to that.
I've been to that one.
I'll be in, it's called Three Feather Records.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. I'll go there and I'll wait in line there because they were opening at 10.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll go get Charlie.
Perfect.
Yeah. I waited in line. While I'm in line, I'm talking to people a little bit. People weren't talking very much.
Right.
And I looked on their list and they didn't have like half the things I wanted there. I wanted the main reasons I was going. Noel Gallagher. I love Noel Gallagher.
Okay.
Yeah. Single.
He was with the Oasis.
Yeah. Yes. U2 has their normal U2 release.
Right.
The Collective Soul Dosage. It's my favorite Collective Soul
album. It's a great album by them.
Get that. And then the new Pearl Jam, which is not a record store day exclusive, but I was going to get it anyway.
While you're there.
And record store day version of it is this really, I'll show it to you after this. It's just really cool, translucent colored vinyl thing.
Sweet.
So I was like, the only one they had was the Pearl Jam one. So I'm
hell.
So I ended up getting the Who too, because they had that there. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Okay.
Like a greatest hits. And then I had to go get Charlie. And then I said to Charlie, would you want to go to Loveland with me to Plaid Room Records? Fully expecting him to say, no, take me home. He said, and I quote, bet.
Nice.
So, all right.
Bet,
we went there.
For all you boomers out there, bet means yes.
So this is closing in. It's like 10:30 or whatever. I'm like, the lines have to be gone. I'll just walk in. I looked. Plaid Room Records does it right.
Okay.
They tell you what number they're serving. So like if you got a number at 4 a.m., you can
like
look
at
on
a
the
deli.
website. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they also tell you live, real time, what the stock is. So if there's something you want there on record store day, you can see the stock going down as they're selling it.
Like on an app?
Like a little, it's on the, it's a website, but you're looking
There's
at it
not like some guy at the airport.
No.
The Pearl Jam album is 2 away from being sold out.
Yep. Yeah. Someone bought the Todd Rundgren album.
Mother.
Yeah. None of that. I get there. All right. And I walk up.
But by the way, somebody would say, yeah, hello, it's me who bought that. These are Todd Rundgren jokes, people.
I told
Cincinnati's comedy podcast.
So we get there and they hand me a number and there's a whole crowd out there. And I'm like, holy, there's still a crowd out here.
Yeah.
They hand me a thing and it said 420. It's this one. It's a pick sheet. You mark on here what albums you want. I was like, I don't care about that. I just know that I'm number 420.
Right.
He said, we're on number 200 right now. We're going about 50 an hour. It's like, oh, well, that gives me times like me and Charlie, we can have lunch. There's a place right next to it that has amazing pancakes.
You don't have to stay in line?
No.
Okay.
You just come back when your number's called.
Oh,
when your
nice.
number's ready.
Nice.
There's a place right next to it that has pancakes with cinnamon butter.
Shut up. I'm not even
Aaron,
hungry and I'm starving.
I'm a pancake snob.
I love pancakes.
We've talked about pancakes
many times.
A lot on this show.
This could easily be Cincinnati's pancake podcast.
It could. These were good pancakes. I fully recommend. It's the Pantry. I think it's called the Pantry. No, that's the place in Vegas that also has good pancakes.
Yeah.
This place is right next to Platinum Room Records. Great pancakes.
Okay.
Anyway, me and Charlie have pancakes. I look, they're on like number 300 or 260 something. I was like, I have time to take him home. Here's the deal. If I get home with him and it's like 360 or whatever, that's just enough time for me to drive back and go in and get the thing.
Yeah.
That's what happened. I dropped him off.
Okay.
Andrew was home. I was like, watch this kid while I go. He's like, is it regular store day? Yeah, it's regular store day. I want to go back to the thing. So I go back and they're now serving number 425. And I go up and I said, hey, is it too late for me to come in? I'm 420. And he took the paper. There's a whole crowd out there. Walks past me like I'm aimed at the record store. Walks past me out onto the step and holds it up and announces to the crowd, "We've got number 420 here, people." And everyone started cheering. So all I could do was raise my fist up and turn around and yeah,
like Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, I literally did a Rocky Balboa.
Nice.
They start clapping, and he said, "Have you put your picks on here yet?" I'm like, "No, I just wanted to go in and he's like, "You want some things on here, though. You do want some things."
Well, yeah,
like,
that's why you're there.
So I marked him up with the Collective Soul and the U2, and I said, "We will get those for you. You can browse, and then you come back and get them." It's like, wow. So I go around and I got the Noel Gallagher, and I'm looking at everybody and all the stuff, and I come by, and one of the guys there, I just hear people say, 420. What did the 420 guy want? What did the 420 guy got? Hey, Bill, what the 420 guy want?
Hey, what did he get? That 420 guy.
And I look, and they're putting my stuff together. They have the things, and there's another album in there that I didn't order. And I look, and I was like, I'm the 420 guy. And he looked up, and he's like, "You're the 420 guy." Yeah. And I'm like, "Yeah." And he fist bumped me, and he said, "All right." And I'm like, I wanted the U2 and Collective Soul. And he's like, "Yeah, and you get this." And there's another album from a local artist that they gave me.
Was it good?
Gabbard. I haven't listened to it yet.
Okay.
And Rolling Papers.
Nice. Because you love to roll things.
And the owners, they signed the pick sheet. So this is signed by the runners or owners or whatever of the thing.
Autographed.
Autographed
by
pick
the
sheet.
Store owner.
They were clapping. It was a whole thing.
They did everything but put you on their hands and pass you down.
I was going to offer my autograph to people out in the crowd, that were still waiting.
This would be a great time to say, hey, by the way, have you heard Irritable Dad Syndrome?
I didn't.
You weren't wearing your shirt?
No.
Mike. So you had...
I have Rolling Papers.
You had 5 minutes of fame, and now you have Rolling Papers.
And I squandered it.
Nice.
But yeah, it was fun.
Oh, good.
But that's why I didn't call you.
No,
for
that's fine.
Because I wasn't sure when I was going.
I wouldn't have been able to have gone that early anyway. So yeah. Well, good.
I did miss you.
I bet
especially when I was number 420.
Yeah.
I thought I need somebody here to celebrate this moment with me, to roll one. I don't even have anything to roll.
No, I don't either.
Loveland, we'd find somebody.
It's legal now.
We could roll one of those pancakes. And,
roll up a pancake and smoke it. Yeah.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Vinyl. It's making a comeback, Now back to you guys in the studio.
Mom came over to visit the other day.
Okay.
And she was in a mood.
Yeah. Your mom lives in, people who, new listeners to the show, she lives like
my mom lives
you.
like 10 minutes down the street from us, just a few miles.
Yeah.
She's very easy to go and get if we need. And we see her 2-3 times a week, as many times as we can. So Mom comes up and she was in a little bit of a mood. I'm like, Mom, what's going on? And by the way, Mom, if you're listening, if I don't tell this story exactly like it happened, sue me. Take me out of the will. I'm sorry. Here's the thing.
If you take him out of the will, I've always respected you and adored you.
She adores you as well.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah. I'm going to screw some details of this story up, but I'm going to skip all the things that don't really matter and get to the point. Mom went to TJ Maxx. She had bought a pair of pants.
Okay.
She was returning the pants because they had a horrible smell. The pants,
Before or after?
Before.
Okay.
She bought them.
Okay.
Brand new.
Yeah.
Brings them home. My God, they smell horrible.
Yeah.
I think she determined that it was like maybe formaldehyde.
Like a chemical smell.
I don't know what it was. They smelled really bad, and she's like, "This is weird. Pants aren't supposed to smell, especially when they're brand new.
When they're brand new, yeah.
Yeah, if you do something to the pants,
Your pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which
I mean, you'd expect a little.
she's going to return the pants. Now,
Uh-huh.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
She bought them on her TJ Maxx card.
Okay.
Okay. She had the bill from TJ Maxx.
They probably have a clause that says if your pants smell, just no
Oh,
questions
you would
asked.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. She didn't have her original receipt with her, but she had her TJ Maxx card.
Yeah, she bought it
that
with
said,
the card.
and then the bill,
Mhm.
right? That said
Yeah.
she bought it for whatever amount. The lady at TJ Maxx would not return them. She would not give her store credit. And she basically said, there's nothing that we can do until you bring in the original receipt. Now, you and I have talked about this before, like at Walmart.
They take anything.
You can bring something back that has blood all over it.
Yeah.
They exchange it. They either give you cash or store credit.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
Larry the Cable Guy had a joke. He could bring used diapers back and say, these already got in them, you know, and they'll take them back.
Not this lady.
Yeah.
She would not return the money for these pants that smelled horrible.
Was she think it is Target? That's Target.
Is
policies.
Target bad for returning things?
Target, they are really. They used to be.
I was
This is
like,
like
now
20 years
that
ago.
time I had the bicycle incident and I brought it back and they bent over backwards.
Yeah, they may have
So,
changed their ways.
I'm going to say that Target
Okay.
is on the plus side,
Okay.
but TJ Maxx is not. So
Okay.
Mom was like, so you're not going to exchange them unless I have the original receipt. And the lady's like, I'm sorry, I can't because you don't have the receipt. And Mom's like, well, it's at my house and I'd have to go home and find it.
How much are these pants?
I don't know.
Like 20?
I don't know. They
$30?
they could not possibly be worth all the trouble.
Yeah.
Anyway, the lady decided to lecture my mom.
I don't think so.
I'm sure that went over really
This
well.
does not work with my mom.
No.
Anybody who's ever met my mom knows
Yeah.
you don't lecture my mom.
Yeah.
So Mom said, well, I'd have to go home and find the receipt. And this lady says, well, you know what I do is I have a little black box and I keep all my receipts in there all the time. And that way I know where they are.
You
Mom
reminded
looks
me,
at her
yeah.
and says, well, good for you. The lady looked back at Mom like,
Hey, what happened?
Mom took the stinky pants
Dude.
and left.
Yeah.
And she's telling me the story, and this whole time I'm just like dying.
Yeah.
And then Mom says, and by the way, you can tell the story on the podcast. You can mention my name and TJ Maxx.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay.
It reminds me of that scene from Oh Brother where he was banned from the Piggly Wiggly. It was like, was
Yeah.
it the entire chain or just that store? I don't know if they've got her picture hanging up. Do not serve this lady.
She's
Beware.
on a watch list.
She may be, but yeah.
Yeah, it's so I mentioned Target. They used to be really bad about that. But the story reminded me of I went into. I don't go to banks anymore. I don't know who goes to banks.
I was in one this morning.
Okay.
Yeah, Libby and I we met with our financial advisor.
Okay.
And Susan Weber
Yeah.
is going to take us out to dinner some night.
Okay.
She had a blast with us. We had a blast with her. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
She wants to meet you, by the way.
Okay. We had to get like a cashier's check or something for an apartment when
Right.
we were moving down here. You know, I had just switched jobs. We didn't have a lot of money. So we go in there to get a cashier's check. I think it was just me. She said, oh, you know, who to make it out to? And I told her the place. And she's like, oh, it's for an apartment for a down payment. And I said, yeah. And she said, yeah, I wouldn't pay this much for an apartment. I own my own home and I pay less than half of this for my mortgage. And she wasn't like trying to sell me a mortgage.
I don't
anything.
remember asking you.
She wasn't looking at me when she said it. She was just looking at the computer. Yeah, I wouldn't pay this
I wouldn't
much
do
for an
that.
apartment. Just a waste of money.
Uh-huh.
I would just get a house, like the house that I have.
Like that's an option. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's wonderful.
That's
That's great. I'm going to need a step stool to get up here to look you in the eye. It's like, what the hell is that comment? It still pisses me off.
the maddest I ever got at an employee. I went to a lens crafters. I lived in Tennessee at the time. They had a buy one get one free glasses, right?
Lens, you buy one lens, you get the other one.
No, you get them both. It was a monocle sale. You get 2 monocles. Buy one, get one free.
Yeah.
So I bought a pair of regular glasses and then a pair of prescription sunglasses.
Okay.
And they came with a 1-year guaranteed replacement. If they get scratched, if they get bent, if they get damaged, whatever, within 1 year, they will replace the glasses.
Okay.
So I had these glasses and they had some scratches on them and the screws kept coming out and everything. And I thought, hell, it's a anything guarantee, So I go to get a free pair of glasses to return them because I'm within the 1 year.
Yeah.
This girl, she had to have been 20,
Okay.
was working the front. And I said, yeah, I'm here to return these glasses and get a new pair because I have the 1 year guarantee plan. She goes, okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, we can do that. Hang on one second. So she goes and she brings back Broomhilda, this woman in her 50s. And she gives me the look like, we're not exchanging your glasses. And she says, yeah, I don't know what she told you, but we can't exchange the glasses. And I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know why you can't. I said, when I bought them, I had the 1 year guarantee for scratches. If they were damaged, they were broken. And she said it was okay to exchange that. And she's like, well, she was just difficult.
Okay.
Hang on a second. She goes back, comes back a few minutes later.
Gets another bigger.
She says, all right, we're going to exchange them because she said that we could. We're really not supposed to.
What do you mean you're not supposed to? You got an agreement, right?
I said, well, I mean, while I'm here, can you adjust these?
Okay.
And she goes, yeah, I can adjust them. And so she's sitting there monkeying with my glasses, trying to adjust them or whatever, snaps them right in the middle. Snaps them in half. Half, Mike.
Okay.
And she sets them down and she walks over and finds the silver pair of frames. Mine were gold frames.
Okay.
And she gets the silver pair and she's talking to her friend. So the other day I was talking to this thing and she's taking the lenses out and she's putting them in the new pair of frames.
Yeah.
Just talking and doing it. And I said, you broke my glasses. And she goes, oh yeah, I was adjusting them and it snapped in the middle. I'm putting them in this other pair. I'm like, but those are silver frames.
Yeah.
She goes, yeah. I said, I don't want silver frames. She goes, you don't like the silver frames? I don't want the silver frames. I don't like the silver frames.
Yeah.
I said, you're over there yapping to your friend and you broke my glasses. And she says, well, I don't see what this conversation I'm having with Donna has to do with anything. I said, I think you could pay more attention to what you're doing. And she just dead her track. She goes, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And she says, I'm going to put your lenses in these frames. And then when your new pair come in, if that's okay, I said, okay.
Yeah.
And Mom was with me. Okay. And Mom just she kept scooting back a little further. Mom didn't want to get caught in the crossfire. But I'm like, I think you could pay more attention to what you're doing.
What you're doing. Yeah.
And when I came back to get my new pair, hi, how are you? I'm like, I'm good.
Okay.
And she was like putting one, she goes, those look really good. Are they comfortable? Here, let me, okay, just a little. Okay. And you can see good. Oh God, she was kissing my ass.
Yeah.
It was that was fun.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Whoppers all-beef foot-long hot dogs. Hey, it's your old buddy Dave, and I'm telling you right now, there are no better hot dogs out there than Whoppers. Whoppers are packed full of flavor with no fillers and no preservatives. They're perfect for every party. Get a ruler and measure it yourself. If your hot dog isn't 1 foot long, they'll refund your money, guaranteed. Oh, and speaking of money, you can now show how much you love Whoppers by purchasing items from their new line of merchandise. Go to irritabledadsyndrome.com and see all the cool stuff they have and buy something for that special someone in your life. Back to you, Buck and Dusty.
I don't remember the product, But I'm in the car and I'm listening to the radio, and this product comes on, and it's a medication. Okay, and let me preface: I am not making fun of people who have erectile dysfunction. Okay, I'm not.
I will make fun of it.
I'm not. Okay, just like a few weeks ago when we had the bent carrot. Yeah,
please. This is a family show.
Yeah. Brokencarrot.com.
Broken pecker.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
So there was this medicine for erectile dysfunction, and lots of men go through this, and you don't have to, and it's easier than doing this and something else, and trouble no more, and come to whatever this place, and they have this erectile dysfunction medication, and they said that it works so well, you'll get immediate results in the office.
Oh, what? I don't know.
In the office.
I don't know if it's a whole different. It's what happened.
Look at that.
This is like a
boing.
Yeah. I've seen one of those videos before.
So you go to this office and then you take the erectile dysfunction medicine, and then it works.
Yeah.
Right. And then what do you have to do? You have to just sit there for a couple hours till it wears off, or do you, like in high school, do you cover your deal with a book?
This is a situation where you need to have your affairs in order before you go to the. You need to have the. I don't know the recipient.
Hey, pre-selected. Do you guys mind if we use this back room? It's like,
wow.
In the office.
Immediate results.
In the office.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I feel for someone, but I'm like, that's like an uncomfortable drive.
Do you
home.
have to go to the office to take the pill?
I don't know.
Are they? It sounds like they're running some other kind of game there. You know what I mean? It's like a bunch of confused men walking around with boners.
Or maybe it wasn't medication, but maybe it was some type of treatment that they offer. I don't know.
Doesn't make it any better.
Yeah. It's like, hey, honey, you're going to want to go to this appointment with me. Yeah. I've got a couple of just stops.
Okay.
I was at Kroger. And
is this a Kroger story of the week?
Sure.
Okay.
It's time now for the Kroger story of the week.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again. If you're in the produce department, I'm sorry, but it's like it's a cucumber, okay? It's not where your kid is going to college.
Right.
Pick one and go.
Go, yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
I went the other day, and there was a woman, and she stared at the mushrooms, okay? There's boxes of mushrooms. She must have looked at the mushrooms for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm standing behind her. It's
waiting.
like, I'm waiting to get my mushrooms.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And she just...
Yeah.
I'm like, woman!
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the onions are pretty much all the same.
Yeah.
The apples are pretty much all the same. Okay. The cucumbers are pretty much all the same. Cabbage. One head of cabbage is the same as the rest of the cabbage, unless one is like ridiculously deformed cabbage.
So,
but it's like grab it and move on with your life, or pay attention. If someone is behind you, now when I go and get bacon, I will look at every pack of bacon until I find one, usually by Whoppers, that isn't full of fat.
Yeah.
Because I cut that off before I fry my bacon.
So
don't send me hate emails. Don't get mad at me. If you want to fry your bacon and all the fat, knock yourself out and make gravy out of it. I don't care. That's not how Darin rolls. If someone's behind me, I won't stand there and go through all the bacon.
Yeah.
I will wait until I'm by myself, and then I touch every package of bacon until I find the one that I want.
Yeah.
Hello.
So I'm working on myself here, and I want to share this story.
Wow.
with
Okay.
you. In those situations, if you're a normal person, you go right up and you, like, let's say they're blocking the broccoli.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say, excuse me, I need to get the broccoli right away.
Right.
What I tend to do is stand there and wait. And about 2 to 3 seconds into waiting, I begin to seethe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
And it builds and it builds. And then I
Would
from,
you get the damn broccoli?
Yeah, I go from mildly seething, and then I reach the, Jesus Christ, are they going to be here all day? I get that point. And then I'm to the point where I'm about to be violent, and then that's when I speak. And the problem is is that all that is built up. So what would have been excuse me, I need to get the broccoli is, can I get the broccoli? Really? Could you move? Could you quit having a discussion about the broccoli so that I can get there? I know what broccoli I want. You're arguing about crowns versus stalks. I want those.
Yeah.
I want that. And they look at me in horror. And if I'm with Bess or the kids, they look at me like,
Daddy's scary.
Did you hit the sauce before you came to Kroger? That kind of, and it's led to some uncomfortable moments for me.
Yeah.
So
See,
I'm trying to. Do you speak immediately, or do you go into the seething? Do you stand back there and you?
I usually wait patiently
in your sauce of self-righteousness.
Yeah,
you just.
Sauce
I hope everyone's
self-righteous. I hope you guys are watching.
I hope you
I'm not throwing a fit here. I am not Mike Odell.
I hope you see how patient I'm being with this idiot in front of me.
Yeah, that's another thing.
That's what I feel like.
I want somebody to notice how patient I am.
Oh, yeah.
And when people don't see how patient I've been, that pisses me off.
Observe
I waited here patiently for this moron to pick a cucumber.
Yeah, bask in my magnanimousness.
Yeah.
That
my penultimateness.
I'm allowing this person to peruse the mushrooms at my leisure.
I was about to say, I have been rewardier and plusier and nicer and kinder.
Yeah.
And nobody saw it.
And then it builds up until you go all the way back around over to get the portobellos and get the out of there. I got to get my stuff.
Right.
I want the little ones that you put on the pizza. I want those.
Yeah.
And then now everybody's staring. The manager's got the phone in one hand or ready to dial. You hear over the Kroger thing.
Mm-hmm.
We as security, we've got a Class B in section Bravo. Have you heard those codes?
Oh,
you hear them and you're like, oh, I wonder what that is. Some dude's on the Downey.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I'm gonna edit that out.
Yeah.
Have you heard when you're at Kroger and they say, attention all employees, it's now time for the on the top of the hour endurance training or some, what is that? What do they say?
I don't know about Kroger. I've heard it. I've come across the Target training.
Yeah.
Like have you ever come across a circle of Target employees?
Yes. Yeah.
And have you just gone right through the middle of them?
Yeah. Excuse me.
And looked around?
Like, I'm shopping.
I did that once.
I'm paying your check?
I did that. When I got into the middle of them, they were all looking at me and smiling, and I just said, you're all doing a hell of a job. You just kept
Did you
on
high
going.
five them? Did you check off your shirt and see if they want to fight?
I should have. Now, I was by an incident in Kroger once, and I can't remember the code. But there was somebody, because they have like secret shoppers in there watching the stuff.
Yeah, we did that at Winn-Dixie.
Yeah, I heard a, and I came around the thing, and I saw somebody had just dropped a sauce, pasta sauce thing, and it was clear who did it. It was the lady that was like fast walking away from the area.
Right.
And then over the thing, you hear, aisle 13, we've got a Bravo Echo
Usually
Charlie.
they would just say cleanup on aisle 14 or
whatever their code was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm always at the opposite end. That was the one time I was right there in the thick of it.
Yeah.
The reporter on the scene.
Yeah.
But I'm always
might
like,
go to live here.
If the going down in the milk, then I'm over here in the produce.
Right.
If it's going down in the produce, then I'm over here in the cereal. I'm never,
Right.
I can't get to wherever it is fast enough.
But this time you were right there.
That time I was right there. It was years ago.
Well, a few weeks ago, I got some grapes, and they didn't have any in the bags. They only had some in the clear plastic box.
Yeah.
And I had it stacked on top of my some of my carrots and whatever else. I took a corner. Now, I didn't think I was going fast at all, but I went fast enough for the grapes to go over the corner.
Had you been drinking?
No, not that day.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Oh, they took the bar out. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, exactly. So the grapes come off and they roll all over the floor. There's a Kroger employee who looks at all the grapes, leaves, walks away.
He doesn't get paid enough.
Just gone.
You think he would hungry hippo that up?
So the responsible shopper.
Thank you for your service.
There's a woman with a cart doesn't say. It's like stop,
Yeah.
danger.
She could slip.
I said we have a grape situation.
Yeah.
And she goes, actually, they were blueberries. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This whole story's a sham. They were blueberries.
Yeah.
And so what does she do? She stops and she gets down
There you go.
and helps me. She goes, I'm going to help my fellow man.
Oh.
I said, well, thank you.
Yeah,
And we cleaned up all the blueberries. All of them were gone by the time another employee came over.
Yeah.
Because apparently the first one had to go, if something's on the floor, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
Did you pick it up? No. Was that good Lord, yeah.
So I'm gonna make this the epic Kroger story.
Okay.
We haven't had Kroger stories in a while. I have one from just a few days ago.
Oh, cool.
I'm at the K. Rogers.
Yeah.
I always make my lunches for the week. That's what I've been doing for the past month.
In the deli? With the deli meat and cheese?
I make stir fry, and then I divvy it up into little meal containers for the week. That sounds
delicious.
I've been doing I'm good at it, too.
Oh, good.
Andrew's a huge fan. He's a huge fan of my food. Stir fry. I always get a couple of onions. I'm used to buying onions. I know exactly what type of onion to get. Yeah. I know how to scan them on the little thing. I know that you scan them and then it says weigh because I do the self-checkout.
Okay.
I don't want anybody else touching my onions. So I'm scanning the onions and it says, I've never had this happen before. It said, set item aside and call for help.
Help!
Yeah, I set the item aside, and I'm like, I'm not going to deal with. I'll get. This is the peep day. This is when I had 20 boxes of peeps.
Right.
So I scan all the peeps. I scan everything else. I scanned the onions. It said, call for help.
Right.
So the ladies over there, I say, this thing is telling me that I need help with the onions. It won't let me move forward. So she comes over. She helps me with the onions, and she goes back. And then I go to pay, and it said, help is on the way.
Right.
And I thought, she hasn't even had time to turn around and go back to where she was at this point. She's like 2-3 feet away from me. And she's on her phone already and looking at a magazine. It wants the cart to be checked.
Right.
I believe it's because I bought so many peeps. I ended up on some peep watch list.
How many boxes of peeps did you buy?
21.
21 boxes
21
of peeps.
boxes of 10 peeps. I bought 210 peeps. 198 of them made it home.
Okay. You ate 10 of them in the car. 2
watermelon and a full normal peep.
Okay, by the way, the watermelon ones, oh my God. So good.
It's the gateway peep.
Yeah, I'd never had one before, and damn.
I got a peep problem.
Yeah.
But it just annoyed me that I kept needing help from this person, and she was like right there. She should just, this whole thing's just...
This doesn't happen when you go through the regular line.
I hate the regular line. What happens in the regular line is they put it on the conveyor, and then it all crushes up.
Okay, if you go through the regular line and there's a bagger, then like the good Lord intended.
Yeah, which they're normally
That's
isn't.
how it's supposed to be.
So I go to Kroger, and they don't hire baggers.
Right. The last 2 times I went, they had a bagger.
They also don't bring produce in very often because it usually has the fruit flies. But here's a little tip from your Uncle Mike. If you want the freshest produce that Kroger has to offer, Sunday morning about 6 or 7 in the morning. Yes, I've been there doing it. That's when they're loading it up. That's when everything is stacked. It's fresh. It's so fresh. Some of it still has manure on it.
Wow.
From where they pulled it out of the ground and put it on the stack.
That's fresh.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. The worst? Saturday night.
Yeah, I don't go after 8 o'clock because I end up bagging all my stuff.
Yeah, there's like hobos sleeping in the
hobos
sleeping in the banana trays. And Saturday night.
So some guy fresh off the train, he had jumped on the train, had the stick with the handkerchief with all his belongings in it.
Yeah, classic hobo.
He had coal on his face.
Harmonica.
Yes.
He's got the shoe with the one toe hanging out. The can of sardines.
Brown coat.
And a cat. Yeah, all that stuff.
A hobo.
A hobo. Brown coat with like a French bread half eaten hanging out of it. Yeah, it's all
nice.
Big,
This has been the Kroger Story of the Week.
We're almost out of time, but I wanted to say one more thing that happened. I went to the UDF. I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, United Dairy Farmers.
United Dairy Farmers.
Yeah.
And I go in there to get... My kids drink all my milk. Okay. They'll drink a gallon of milk a day.
Yeah.
So we were out of milk. I didn't feel like making the trip all the way down to K. Roger.
Yeah.
So I went to UDF. I go in there and I get my 2 gallons of milk. There's a guy in front of me. He's buying 2 packs of smokes with change. 5. 10.
Yeah.
There's 45.
Oh my gosh.
$1. And the woman kind of looks over him and looks at me like, can you believe this? And I'm like,
Yeah.
and it took him, I don't know, 5 minutes and he keeps going in his pocket and getting more change out. And I never see anybody who has change.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But remember, because we went through that period where like everybody was spending change.
Yeah.
People change right and left. It was change palooza.
I saw somebody using cash the other day, and it was like, where's the time machine?
Yeah.
I understand the smokes, though, because I used to smoke, and I've had many times.
But with change?
Yeah. I've bought cigarettes with pennies before.
Okay.
You got desperate. In the Trans Am. Because I couldn't afford the Trans Am. I sure as hell couldn't afford to smoke.
Right.
So I'm like scrounging pennies.
But how long ago was that? And how much was a pack of smokes back then?
Like 20 years.
How much are cigarettes now?
I don't know.
A buddy of mine, although he quit, a buddy of mine in Chicago, I think they were like $7 a pack in Chicago.
Good Lord.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. With all that money that you spend on smokes, you could buy beer. This has been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to wrap this one up. We want you to go to irritabledadsyndrome.com. You can download all the episodes that we have there. And if you want a t-shirt, you can buy one at irritabledadsyndrome.com. If you want to be a patron, you can do that at irritabledadsyndrome.com.
We got coffee mugs you can put your liquor in.
Exactly.
If
we
you
do.
Swing that way.
Yeah, Chris O'Brien the other day, a guest of the show, friend of our show, posted his Irritable Dad Syndrome coffee mug on his old Facebook page.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. So we appreciate you doing that.
I used my Irritable Dad Syndrome hoodie to clean out the gutters in our house a couple days ago.
Now there's an endorsement.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Good
Retired.
Lord.
One of our listeners on the show quit smoking when cigarettes were 35 cents a pack.
Yeah.
My Lord.
We should have an Irritable Dad ashtray.
Irritable Dad Syndrome ashtrays?
Yeah. We should.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah.
We'll get on that. We'll have our team get on that. Yeah. And one of them paddleball games. The rubber band will break like after the fourth time.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to go. Thanks. We hope to see you next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Irritable Dad Syndrome is a Mike Odell, Darin Cox production.
Dizzy Rascal.
Dizzy? Dizzy. Oh, 2 E's. I thought there was Dizzo. Dizzoo.
And it says, wow.
Boing.
Go to bed, Miles.
Yeah, go to bed.